Hello everyone, my name is Saakhi Chadha. I'm a PhD scholar at Jamia Millia Islamia in Delhi, India, and I'm presenting my working paper titled Digitizing the Digital Detox: Paradox, Performance, and Neoliberal Reframing. So, the key question that drives this research is what happens when resistance to social media itself becomes content? So I'm interested in the contradiction at the heart of this genre of vlogging, wherein people are performing and presenting a digital detox while simultaneously generating value for the platform economy. Now, over the last few years, concerns around excessive digital media consumption have intensified. There's a growing awareness about the addictive and attention draining design features of social media that can cause active harm to mental, emotional, and even physiological well being. And these anxieties are expressed through terms such as brain rot, doom scrolling, mental fatigue, or information overload. In fact, in December 2024, Oxford Dictionary announced brain rot as its word of the year. And in doing that, it officially recognized a term that had already entered the lexicon of an increasingly digital world. Now, the concept of a digital detox has emerged in response to these growing anxieties. Stepping away from digital content and technologies is being offered as a self regulatory corrective behavior to undo or mitigate these damaging effects of online overconsumption. And ironically, many of these conversations are happening on social media platforms themselves. So, content creators are picking their cameras and recording their digital detox days and then turning these into polished, edited, and curated vlogs with titles such as I quit social media and it changed my life, or my digital detox journey as a Gen Z. And often these videos are accompanied by affiliate links of ebooks, courses, detox tourism packages, well being products, corporate websites, and other such resources, thus transforming digital detox into a marketable commodity. Now, the co option of digital detox by the platform economy and the conversion of disconnection into marketable content forms the focus of this study. Now, the term has been used differently across disciplines, and there are some inconsistencies in these definitions. In order to clarify its usage in this paper, I'll be referring to the one provided by Marks and others in their 2025 research paper, wherein they analyzed 76 published articles to arrive at a consolidated definition. It states, quote, digital detox involves an intentionally set time frame in which individuals reduce the use of one or more digital devices and or applications to cope with or prevent negative side effects of this use to foster a healthy and balanced relationship with technology. Unquote. The current study looks at digital detox as not just a corrective practice, but as a media genre situated within algorithmic logics and platform governances. In these vlogs, the detox journey is packaged as a first person narrative to be shared and uploaded on the very platforms that they intend to critique or resist. So, this particular study will be guided by three broad questions. The first one is how is technology framed in digital detox vlogs? The second is what forms of self presentation techniques and labor do vloggers perform to appear authentic? And thirdly, how do digital detox vlogs construct neoliberal ideas of self regulation, discipline, and productivity? So, this research looks at 10 high performing YouTube vlogs on this subject. I have focused on YouTube because it supports long form storytelling and has a direct monetization model, unlike several other social media platforms. So the videos were selected by conducting a keyword search with the words digital detox vlogs and using popularity as the filter. The videos with high engagement were chosen in order to assess what kind of content and what kind of formats have succeeded in terms of platform metrics and how these are commodified in the service of the platform economy. So the metadata, including the title, thumbnail, date of upload, views, comments, channel name, tags, description box, affiliate links, number of subscribers, etc. were all recorded to contextualize the content. And some of this has been catalogued in this table in the next slide. Now, the analysis involved a close reading of the narrative structure, the visual motifs, and the performance styles. The approach followed here is that of a reflexive thematic analysis, as proposed by Braun and Clark, as it gives weightage to the researchers' interpretations of phenomena, which are supposed to emerge from their stated theoretical frameworks, instead of opting for an objective or a neutral view of data. So, as one of the many ways of conducting a thematic analysis, this particular method privileges a flexible interpretative approach to foreground the researcher's active role in knowledge production. And this role is understood to be stemming from three main sources: the data itself, the theoretical frameworks, as well as the analytical skills of the researcher. And since the theoretical assumptions in the current study are derived from digital labor, platformization, neoliberal subjectivities, as well as performance of the self, the themes that emerge will reflect this critical approach in the analysis of the vlogs. The initial round of reading of these videos draws on the typology offered by Marx and others who studied written material on digital detox. It is the same article that I mentioned earlier. So, the five key dimensions in this framework are technology, drivers, action, time frame, and outcomes. So the vlogs were analyzed according to these metrics and then further studied from the frameworks of digital labor, performance, and neoliberal subjectivity. I will briefly explain these here. So the first one concerns with the kind of technology or device being restricted or removed during the digital detox. Right away, you will see in this table that detox means different things. Half of the vloggers studied here only deleted social media applications while continuing to use their smartphones and laptops for other purposes. Then there were two who replaced their phones with dumb phones that could only be used for calls and text messages. And the last one went a step further by going off the internet altogether and abandoning all screens, including phones, laptops, computers, and even television. And this particular vlog was made in collaboration with a company offering off grid stays. So the extreme restrictions were basically shown as part of that experience. Now, the next category is that of drivers, which is about the reasons given for going on a digital detox in the first place. Now, nearly all vloggers shared that they were struggling with a social media addiction and feeling a loss of control over their time and their life. Other related reasons were guilt about wasting time, being stuck in a creative rut, wanting to find balance, and battling social media induced anxiety and mental health issues. Some even said that they felt inspired after watching other detox vlogs by other content creators. So there was an element of intertextuality too. And this also signals how certain genres appear profitable and gain steam and popularity within the YouTube ecosystem, which can make for a separate study. Now, coming to the time frame, the longest detox period in the dataset was 3 months, but the vlogger gradually reintroduced devices and applications over this duration. Four of them documented a month-long detox. Two were away from social media for a week each, while one went off the internet and all screens for 3 days. The last category is that of outcomes, which is concerned with the observed changes or supposed improvements that the vloggers share after completing the digital detox. The commonly cited ones are reduced screen time, increased productivity, calm and clarity, more time for hobbies, friends and families, reconnecting with oneself, and just generally feeling re-energized and motivated. And all creators ended their vlogs by expressing an overall reluctance to go back to social media. They said they did not want to enter that world again, but admitted that this wasn't an option. So instead, they say they will adopt a more mindful approach going forward, either by turning off their notifications or keeping the phone in another room. Now, there may be stylistic differences, but most vlogs follow a very standard script that broadly goes through these steps. They start with laying out the problem, which is of social media addiction, fatigue, and endless scrolling. and then digital detox is considered as a solution. Then there is this feeling of unease during the initial few days due to suddenly having no phone. And this ultimately goes away when the benefits and improvements become visible. And finally, they all end with a mindful return and reincorporation of the devices and applications. Now, these screenshots from the vlogs show the similarities in their narrative structures and visual elements. The first row displays screen grabs of the initial shots, which are usually of their screen time, or they show them scrolling. And then in the next stage, which can be seen in row 2, they record themselves either deleting applications from their phones or locking up their devices in a box or switching on a dumb phone instead. Then the initial adjustment and unease is almost always portrayed through the struggle of using physical maps for navigation, as we can see here in the last row. And finally, of course, comes the stage of transformation, which is shown through images and clips of reduced screen time, spending more time outdoors, reading, journaling, painting, hiking, going on a run, and pursuing hobbies and passion projects. So you can see the same narrative across the board with just certain design and aesthetic differences. Now, as mentioned earlier, this analysis is informed by the theoretical frameworks of digital labor, performance of authenticity, and neoliberal subjectivity. The first one is about how, even when vloggers claim to disconnect or go offline, their detox is producing platform value by generating views, engagement, revenue, and audience data. And the second is concerned with the way these vlogs feel intimate and spontaneous, despite being carefully constructed. And finally, we see how digital detox vlogs follow and build on a neoliberal rhetoric by framing well being as individual responsibility instead of holding the platform accountable. All of these will be discussed in more detail as we discuss the themes. Now, the first theme is that of the co option of digital detox by digital media. So, when the practice of disconnection is turned into content, and when this resistance is performed, recorded, edited, and then uploaded on a social media platform for views and engagement, it becomes a cultural commodity which is contingent on the same platform logics that it intends to exit from. This can be seen in how vloggers use this engagement for their own personal brands, as shown in the description boxes of the vlogs that are also studied in this research. So here you will see that viewers are directed to the creator's other social media profiles, affiliate links are provided, merchandise is being sold, and some are selling paid guides and masterclasses on self-improvement. And you can see that here in this example, where the creator has added a link to his course on simple habits, along with multiple other hyperlinks to other platforms. So the ultimate objective is still to keep the viewers looped in this digital ecosystem, even if the content is on the harms of digital media. Then this is another video, and this is the one which is made in affiliation with a company that rents out digital detox cabins. This channel is built around slow living content, and it romanticizes a certain pre social media quiet life. Now, the description here has an affiliate link, and the vlogger's own clothing website is also mentioned, apart from several other hyperlinks and redirections to other sites and online communities that she's running based on paid memberships. Then come the ads that are shown during the vlogs. Like we can see here, this is a targeted advertisement for a wellness website that was played multiple times when I was first watching these vlogs. So these detox videos are very much an active element of the platform ecosystem, and they contribute to its sustenance by capitalizing on viewer engagement and interest. Now we come to the digital labor that is performed by the creators as well as the users that ultimately keeps this system going. So the vloggers are carrying out all kinds of labor by strategizing, filming, editing, and optimizing their content for social media. And there is an expanding terminology around this as seen in the terms visibility labor, aspirational labor, relational labor, hope labor, free labor, or affective labor. So the creators are not just providing content to the platforms, but they are also generating value through views, engagement, brand partnerships, and their vlogs become sites for targeted advertisement, and the viewers are turned into audience commodities. Then, even from the perspective of the users, there is free labor being performed through scrolling and engaging with content, which provides an endless supply of data to these platforms, which is further used to feed into the algorithm and benefit advertisers. 𝗠𝗘𝗕𝗦𝗧 has used the metaphor of the digital housewife to compare the free and unpaid care work done by the homemaker in a patriarchal and capitalist family structure to the voluntary and uncompensated leisure activities of social media users who generate constant data that is commodified by the platforms. The next theme is that of performance. Vlogs are inherently a performative genre, and that has been studied extensively by digital media scholars. Seeing vlogging as a form of live streaming, Marvick has called it a balancing act of publicity wherein individuals create a strategic edited simulacrum by making deliberate decisions about what parts of their lives to show and what kind of persona can be best commodified for their brand of micro celebrity. And we see this curation, performance, and branding in the common narrative templates and the visuals that these detox vlogs adopt as a storytelling technique. Creators present themselves as vulnerable, exhausted, and struggling with social media addiction, just like their viewers. We see these in the screenshots of their screen time, in their journal entries, in the confessions about losing control of their lives, and visuals of them scrolling endlessly or feeling lost. As part of an online self presentation, these techniques of self disclosure and vulnerability work in establishing intimacy, relatability, and authenticity, all of which are performed according to algorithmic logics in the hope for visibility and engagement on platforms. So, the performance and curation of a relatable figure who seems to be equally impacted by the addictive designs of social media platforms while continuing to contribute to their operations complicates the dramaturgical distinction between backstage and frontstage behaviors as theorized by Irving Goffman in 1956. So, the initial phase of discomfort and anxiety that they feel due to not having access to social media, and then eventually the relief and newfound calmness that they supposedly experience, are all part of this performance of authenticity and impression management. And it is in the video descriptions, as we just saw, that the commodification of this experience is made explicit as the individual forefronts their identity as an influencer who is working on and for these platforms. Now, the final theme is that of a neoliberal reframing of the practice of digital detox. Despite the growing discourse around the role of platforms and their designs in creating addictive loops, these vlogs are presenting digital detox as an individual centric solution without really holding the platform accountable. So, the emphasis is on the user's productivity, balance, resilience, routine, mindfulness, and self control instead of demanding any systemic changes to the exploitative system. So, this shifts attention away from platform accountability, algorithmic design, and data extraction. All of this stands in line with the neoliberal ethos of self regulation and self optimization, where individuals are expected to be responsible for their own well being and improvement, even in the face of pervasive platformization and digital capitalism, which optimizes, commodifies, and co opts even forms of critique and resistance, as we are seeing in the digital detox vlogs. So, this paper has attempted to study the contradiction at the heart of these vlogs that are created as a response to anxieties around addiction and burnout, but which ultimately convert these anxieties into marketable content for social media. It has looked at how digital detox becomes commodified, aestheticized, and is folded back into the platform economy through vlogging. And finally, it has argued that digital detox functions as neoliberal self regulation rather than systemic critique. So, the concerns about platform design, compulsive engagement, and declining well being still remain pressing and unresolved. As seen in the videos, this ultimately results in a softer and more marketable kind of resistance that can be monetized and easily absorbed by the platforms without really questioning the status quo. In this way, it mirrors social media genres such as self help and self care that almost entirely commodify and monetize well being through products, paid applications, courses, return of analog devices in the market, and even wellness retreats. So, future work can perhaps look into cross platform trends, audience reception, vloggers who are operating at a smaller scale, as well as the potential for legitimate critique through social media. And these are some of the key references that I have used in the paper so far. So that would be all from me. Thank you everyone for your time and patience. Thank you.